Yo, 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 you already know what time it is. I'm Marissa the Thinker. You are now tuned into another episode of Thinker versus Speaker. We got part 2 of the episode with Jonathan, Partners in Trauma. I hope you like part 1. If you haven't heard part 1 by now, go ahead, check it out. What you waiting for? It will make this make sense, wouldn't it? But yeah, I'm not even gonna waste no time. We just gonna jump right back into it. I hope y'all enjoying this episode. Definitely, if you are, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Let people know that you're messing with us. You know what I'm saying? If you got any ideas for topics, people that you want to talk to, drop it. Let me know. I can make it happen. And yeah, let's keep going. I also got a bonus clip at the end, so stay tuned for it. All right, later. Yeah.
But like the because just like the understanding, like, you know what, I understand that you're here to help me. That's all it is.
Yeah, there's a give and a take. You know what I'm saying? There's a give and a take. Like you even alluded to it earlier, where it's just like, you know, there is no work-life balance here. You know what I'm saying? You might have an off day and you get called in and there is no off day, and you don't get back-to-back off days. That's rare. You know what I'm saying? Your off day might be like a Monday and a Wednesday, or a Tuesday and a Thursday, or, you know, just something
My
weird.
favorite is when it's a Monday and Friday.
Those suck. Those genuinely suck. And Sundays just suck, period. But like but it's just like there's no balance, and it's just like you're literally, you have one day to figure your life out, and then you have to go for another couple of days, and you have another day to figure your life out. And it's just like, and you work odd hours. It's like one day you might work 12 to 9, another day you might work 5 to 2, another day you might work 9 to 5. There's no telling. It's like your schedule's all over the place. You can't really find balance in that.
And these younger people who are wanting to be managers, like, oh, I don't want to close and then open. Well, too damn bad. Yeah. If that's what the schedule is, that's what we have to do. Like, we all have to do it. But, you know, it does suck when you have to close at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock during holiday, midnight, and then your ass has to be up there at 7 o'clock to open the store.
Yeah.
Because it's holiday and, you know, extended hours. And so you got to open the store at 7 to be open by 8. And it's like, you know, but I will say that since COVID, it has gotten a lot nicer. Black Friday really isn't a thing anymore because everyone thinks everything's online. I mean, it is, but it's not. You think about it. Think, when was the last time you heard like a crazy like Black Friday event, or like trampoline?
Black Friday kind of was dying even during the course of my retail years. Like, I remember my first year doing Black Friday, it was literally like 300, and they were like screaming Mrs. Sparta. But by the time the end of it came, you know what I'm saying? Because that was like, okay, when I started, when I was 16, Black Friday was limited to Friday. And over the course of time, that's when they started introducing Thanksgiving or whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? They opened us earlier and earlier and earlier and earlier. Like, they tried each year opening us earlier until they realized people ain't really coming like that. If y'all are going to be open Thursday and Friday, there's really no... You know, it's no more doorbusters. Y'all not doing doorbusters like that. Y'all not doing the stuff that y'all used to. You know what I'm saying? Y'all just doing the same old half off sale. And
exactly. That's funny you said that, because like I remember the first couple years when we did doorbusters, you know, every hat, scarf, whatever. I mean, Jesus, they'd be beating down the damn door.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's free, you know. And so, but then they slowly stopped going away with those. They just did more sales than anything. And, you know, and it's like, but realistically, it was always kind of hard because when it was in its prime of being real heavy, I was in a mall, and so people were lined up for like the anchor stores.
Yeah.
But they were like lined for the bigger stores, and it's like so like they had us there when everyone was there, but it's like no one's coming here for our store, so why do we have to be here this early? They're all for the bigger stores, and so you get there, you kind of just twiddling your thumbs, and then it hits. Well, shit.
It hits out of nowhere. So quick. It really does.
And then the worst is like you can kind of tell when everyone's like taking their coffee break or maybe stopping for breakfast.
You can. It'll like lull. Yeah.
Yep. And then boom, it picks up again.
Yeah. Yep. And it's crazy, but again, like, even those, like, you would think that those days suck, but they're also like some of the most exciting days that you have.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like you said, like there's the potluck, there's all the energy in the building, like everybody has a collective goal, there's specific schedules. It's just like you don't even have to think about it. It's like that's when all the muscle memory comes out. And it's just like whatever. Like there will be years where I'm like on the cash register, like especially when I'm an associate. Like you're an associate, you got a 9-hour shift just straight on the cash register with nonstop customers. That days go by fast, and I'm making time and a half, easy money.
I loved it because
That's
they
how
did
they
like
were
a.
in too. Oh god.
Oh yeah, because it pumps you up. You're like, look how good I. Oh, and then let's not forget, God, I worked for a retailer that had a credit card for them.
Same, yeah.
Did you ask for your credit card? Did you ask for a
Oh,
credit
I was
card?
one
Did
of
you
the
ask for a credit
best.
card? Oh, girl, same. The most I got in a single shift was like 28. No, I got more than that. No, I got 60 that one time at. I think you and I talked. I think we worked for the same place, and it was a grand opening of the store, and so it was like they got a discount even if they applied, even if they didn't get approved.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
so,
Uh-huh.
and so that day I got like 60 something people because I'm like, you get the discount whether you get approved or not. Oh, sure, done.
I kicked
Done.
ass that day. Yeah,
Oh,
I
girl.
whooped ass. I think was it Black Friday? Because it was like one of them nonstop register days.
Mm-hmm.
For us, it was Black Friday. I remember.
Is that what they were called? Yeah. I just texted you.
Hold on.
Okay. That's what they use. Did you get these? Did you get these every time? Like they would get on the hourly chat.
Yes. Yeah.
They'd get on the hourly. Hey, how many of those cards you got? Blah 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 blah. Well, we got such and such got this many. They got such and such got this many. How many do you have? Like who's gonna win that? Whatever. And it's always something. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yep. I know. Because at one point in time, I was the enemy putting together the prize packs.
Yep. And so on top of doing that, so I was able to ring out like something like 4 or 5 guests like every 5 minutes. Like I was really quick with it.
Yeah.
And there was one Black Friday. It was me and these other 2 girls, and we had one of those big monsters that you can like unscrew the cap on and off.
Yep.
The 3 of us the 3 of us literally had a shot glass, and we would take shots of it throughout the day. And the 3 of us shared that one. But we were pumping and grinding. She was like, and then our boss was like, y'all want to stay a little later? Half a double and a half? Time and a half? Yep, sure, let's do it. And we just kept working.
Time and a half, yeah.
and I always love, because it's like, they bitch about you and your management, like about staying under payroll and blah, blah, blah. During the holidays, that money's flowing. They don't give a shit.
They don't care.
They will let you work a 15-hour day.
Gotta do.
We appreciate you supporting the team. Like, you just stay as long as you want. Yeah, I bet you would.
Yeah. We don't. And I was on the other side now.
Corporates at home, and we're at work. If you want to work, you go right on ahead. Yeah, huh?
Oh yeah.
Enjoy that fire out in the back.
Yeah. Hell yeah. So another thing that I want to get into too. I want to talk about the great work shortage before we get out of here.
Let's do it.
And like why I think it exists. Cause let's start with where it started. Cause you kind of like said something about it earlier, but didn't really get into it. So what was like retail like pre, during, and post COVID, and what's happening there, or like what happened there? Because I was out of it by then, but it's like a high risk, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't even know what's going on, and it's just like, so I'm supposed to deal with people.
Mm-hmm. One of the other things that's exciting about retail, and when anyone asks me what I enjoy about it, is no 2 days are the same.
No.
Every day is different with retail. You don't know what you're going to get, and that keeps you on your toes, and that's enjoyable sometimes. Not always, but it can be. So beforehand, like before COVID, it was retail. Since I'm in a higher end retail now, like Black Friday isn't really a thing because, grandparents and parents are with their kids at the other stores, buying the Xboxes or Barbies or whatnot. So they don't really come into, no one's really into market for $200 pants on Black Friday. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
So like that, we're not really busy. So what I've enjoyed about working this higher end retail is Black Friday, we don't start on Thanksgiving, and we sure as hell don't start at 8 o'clock in the morning. We start at our regular time, which is 11. You know, we don't stay open later. We don't stay open till like midnight or whatever. We're home by 7:30. So it's like, I've enjoyed that because we don't have to worry about stuff like that. But beforehand, like we would have events where we'd have live music and we'd have food out and drinks and all kinds of stuff. Because my location doesn't necessarily have we don't do beverages like other retailers do, like with the champagne and stuff. But when we have events, we would, do free wine, or we would literally have a mini bar set up in our store with like lights and stuff, and we would hand out drinks and cocktails, and different restaurants would cater and stuff like that. We'd have all these people that would donate vendors and stuff, and it was fun. I mean, they would be pumping, and it was always good to do an event at the end of the month, get those final numbers in, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like we would do stuff like that, and the guests were so much nicer, like, because everyone was just doing their own thing, I guess. And then during COVID, like, I'll never forget when they announced that they were going to shut the store down. It was the middle of March. Me and the assistant manager had gotten to work, and it was eerie. Like this, it was kind of like I actually was working on September 11th, the day after September 11th happened, and it was very eerie. I was working overnight at a retailer, a big retailer, and all the TVs in the store were just following the news of what was going on. No one was in the store. There was no planes out. It was just really, I remember September 11th, and that's another thing, but it was really quiet. And that's how it felt right before COVID really hit. There was no one shopping. They'd come in and people had started wearing masks, or were telling people not to wear masks. They were kind of divided on it. That's when the division really started happening, was when it came down to like the mask mandates and stuff. That's when people started getting really fussy. And so it started to change the dynamic, and it was kind of unsettling. And so that day we showed up to work, and we didn't even make it a full day. By noon, they were like, we're discussing what's going to happen. We'll let you know. By 1 o'clock, it was like, okay, certain stores are closing. And then by 2 o'clock, it was like, everybody shut down. So we were like trying to count the register, and it was weird. They're like, don't count the registers, just shut the store down and go.
Wow.
And so wow. Yeah. Like they were like, just go. So we left. And then it was like, and then of course, they offered, specific things. Like they did offer to keep us. They did pay the full-time employees during COVID, which was nice. They did do that for us. So I was able to get paid, which was awesome, as well as collect unemployment like everyone else did. And so that was a really cool thing that I will say that some retail, not all retailers did it, but the retailers that did take care of their employees, that was a really cool thing.
Yeah. And
so when it came time to come back, it was way earlier than anyone had started to open. And it was like the conversation was given like, well, why are we having to go back? But it turned out that while people were at home, they started ordering merchandise. Well, the warehouses were still working to help fulfill the orders or whatever, because that was considered part of the, essential worker was to work in the warehouse to get those online orders sent out.
Yeah.
Well, they were running out of merchandise, and they've realized, oh, there's the merchandise just sitting in the stores. So that's when they decided that, and this is true with every retailer, so guests need to understand this too. Now that online ordering is in full effect, it is a thing now. Not only are these employees stocking the merchandise and helping guests,
they're doing double work for the same pay.
We're fulfilling online orders too.
Yeah.
Because it is now cheaper to have it sent from a store than it has to send from another state. Because
it's closer.
So everyone needs to know, if you're ordering something and it's from a retail store, 9 times out of 10, you're getting it from the store that's right up the street from you. Because it's cheaper to send it to you.
Yeah, that was starting.
That's just, yeah. And so, that had really started going on. So that's why they wanted us to go back in the store, was so that we could fulfill all those online orders. And so being a manager, they weren't bringing the part-time people back. They expected the managers to go into the stores and start doing this and fulfilling all these things and so on and so forth. Well, the center that I work at, this bougie place did not give any rent relief to any of the retailers in the center. So when I got back, 7 of the stores that I knew the managers and the employees were all gone. They closed up shop. It was like coming back from like this thing that it was just undescribable. I can't describe it. Like I just came back and it was like there was people coming in kind of, and when they would come in, they'd be snarky. They always had a comment about the mask mandate. They always had they were mad. Everyone came back after COVID mad. And for retailers, it's become more of an entitlement and a demand.
Mhm.
Like, you're lucky we're in this brick and mortar. That's why you're in business kind of attitude.
Really?
And it's because honestly, the reason a lot of brick and mortars are in business and will remain is because there is that guest that will want to try it and see it in person. There are people out there, girl, who order online. I don't know how they do it. But I am one of those people, I have to try it on. I have to know how it's going to fit. I can't just think it's going to fit and then it gets here and then I'm counting on this outfit and it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
True, yeah.
So, but a lot of people do want to feel the merchandise. So that's why brick and mortar still stands, is because of those guests. And it's usually the older guest. But as the older guests start to die, there's not much of that.
Store.
Exactly. Our business, while we do still do well, and when we make plan and everything, we do not see nearly as many guests as we did pre-COVID. Conversion counter and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
So for those who don't know, conversion is the amount of percentage of people you're supposed to sell that come through the door. So most retailers are like, if you have 10 people come through that door, there's a counter that will count them. Mm-hmm. And what that will do is, so let's say 10 people come in, you need to sell to at least 6 of those people to have a good conversion. And so our conversion rate is way down, but our sales are just as high, if not higher, than 2020. That's what's
that ratio?
It's I don't know. We always just do the LY. I call it LY last year, plan or whatever.
Oh,
but that percentage
because we used to always have to balance the two, where it's just like, okay, if your conversion is down, what's your other thing? And it's literally what you're talking about. It's just like, well, if I got a low conversion, then I need a high whatever.
Okay, so we have UPT, DPT, units per transaction.
Okay,
transaction.
Now we're about to start getting into math. Yeah.
Yeah. So
it's those things. Yeah.
With retailers, how they get their money budgeted to them for hours to pay the employees is by what I say. They give you a sales plan. You have to make a percentage of that sales plan. But on top of that monthly sales plan, you have a weekly sales plan. If you make that week, then you will have earned the hours they gave you for payroll. But what y'all don't realize is that if you don't make that week, that following week, when you go in and you can't find no one to help you, it's because they had to cut everyone's hours because they didn't make the week previous.
Yep.
And so it's bad enough when you only have 10 employees nowadays after COVID, because you can't get anyone to work. You have 10 employees, well, you're not making sales plan. You got to cut their hours. And so that's why it's so hard for people now to have part-time jobs and go to school and do everything and support themselves and have a living. It's because they're not even allowed to work if they work a part-time job, because if you don't have that open availability, you sure as hell ain't going to get any other hours.
Yep.
And so that's when you that's when you have people working 2, 3, 4 jobs. And that's why, everyone's talking about what a struggle it is to live,
Yeah. And everything's higher. Nothing got cheaper. Everything's
getting higher,
but our wages did not go up.
No, the job duties that we have are getting more and more and more, but we're not getting compensated for that.
Right. And so people are burning out.
And then they're like, well, we don't understand what's happening, and they're all frantic and panicking. Like, well, what's happening? Everyone's not wanting to work. Y'all have worked us to death, literally. People, because in my particular case, money it's gotten to a point where it's just like, I don't even care about the money. I just want to be happy with what I do. Amen.
I don't want to go to work every day and be like, why the fuck am I here? Like, this can't really be it. This can't be it. And everybody is questioning that now, because everybody's getting tired of getting whipped on their back. Like, keep going, keep going, keep going. And I know like generations in the past, I'm sure they don't understand that, because some people, that's what they did. You know what I'm saying? Even with where I come from, like I'm the first person in my family probably like question that and be like, hold on, wait. This logic. So I'm not judging it, and I can see how
Yeah.
from like the outside looking in, people are like, well, this is life and you got to do what you got to do. And I'm just sitting here like, but really though, because y'all not happy neither.
And also, and this is my thing too, is everyone's like so quick to point that out. It's like, okay, yeah, you're absolutely right. But those people out there doing what they want and everything, like, but like you pay for that. You know,
Yeah.
like you pay for that by like I've never understood, like, so someone asked me my opinion as to why people aren't having to go to work. And it's like, why go to work when these people are just starting OnlyFans, selling pictures of their feet, doing, you know, wear stuff like that. I'm sorry, I got ugly feet. I'm not in on that market. But the point being is like, but thing is like, you know, you have these fake celebrities on you know, Instagram and, you know, TikTok and stuff like that. It's like, your TikTok famous is not the same as famous.
It's not.
And, you know, I'm gonna quote one of my favorite movies. It's a movie, The Incredibles. And the villain, the main guy, he was like, he's gonna make everyone a superhero. Remember? Because he said,
go ahead.
No one will be.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like social media has done. It has put this thing on everybody where it's like everybody's the same.
Yeah.
And everyone's doing the same thing. And it's like, you know, you have these creators out there who are giving us quality stuff, like things that, you know, like things to discuss, topics. They're creating these amazing art. They're teaching people. That's what I love about social media, is that it can actually be a wonderful tool to help people. Through social media, I was able to get into therapy. I was able to find a therapist and a psychiatrist through social media. By seeing those pages you flick through and you're like, you know, talking about mental health and like those things do work sometimes. They're cheesy and corny and everyone like scoffs at them. But you know what? When someone's having a really shitty day, sometimes even if a stupid little meme comes across TikTok, it'll make me smile. It'll change my mood.
Yeah.
So like in that sense, like there's healthy parts of it. But unfortunately, our society is picking up on that darker side of everything.
It really is, yeah.
And they're using the things for bad and not for good. And it's like, and I come from a generation, like I said, I'm older. I remember when things were closed on Sundays.
Sort of.
like you know what I mean? Like there were some retailers that were closed on Sundays. Malls were not open on Sundays when I was a kid.
No. Yeah.
You know, and it's like they still made their money. They still got by. And so it's like, there is a way, I mean, absolutely there is a way that we can live in this world and be happy. I don't know why we can't.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't know why we can't get there.
It's a lot of comparison happening, right? I think, and this is just my own opinion. I could be right or wrong. I really don't care. It's perspective. We need to change the dialogue in a sense, because we need to talk more about doing things that make us happy, but like using that to make us money. And like we're putting making money forward and trying to be like everybody else, instead of like really going after the things that we are truly passionate about, giving it everything that we have and letting it and letting it blossom into whatever it's meant to be. You know, that's what, in reality, a lot of these creators are doing. They're finding their niche, they're finding their thing, and then they're turning it into something that, you know, is actually fruitful. And there was a reason why I brought up all of the skills that we learn in retail, right? Because I think about them now, because with what I'm trying to do, even in doing this podcast and like the other projects that I'm working on, I ask myself that a lot, and I'm just like, dude, can I really run a business? Do I really have what it takes? Like, can I really help people improve their lives? And it's just like, I have to think back to that 7 years of retail. I'm asking myself, do I know how to run a business? Yes, I do. I did. I just did it for somebody else. And not only did I do it for somebody else, I did it well. So I'm capable but I have to believe that I can do it for myself the same way that I did it for them.
And that's what, that is you said it right there. Like, I love it, because like, yes, like, we do have the capability of doing, it's just, we've been doing it for other people this whole time.
Yeah.
And so it's like, and that's such an empowering feeling. It's like, holy shit, you know, when you actually look. And so like, one of the things I've been afraid about or scared about changing my career is like, well, I'm only, you know, really trained in retail. No, I'm not.
You have so many other skills.
I can get customer service. Now, I know that sounds like a weird, you know, I don't want a customer service job. Customer service is more than just retail or answering phones or so on and so forth. There's other parts of it. Yeah. But like, that's a skill I have now, customer service.
I can network.
I go out and beat the street and like, hi, my name is Jonathan. I work for, you know, blah, blah, blah. Like, would you like to partner together and have an event together? Absolutely. I know how to network. I know how to go out and meet people. I know how to, here's my email. I have a business card, for crying out loud. Like, and it's through those moments where I learned how to do those things that like have empowered me to, because that's what's funny, because you said, you know, everyone's putting money on the forefront. And if you ever watch videos of like businessmen and shit from the 80s, and they're blowing their own smoke up their own asses, but they're like, you know, you got to work hard, work hard. Okay, so that's how you earned your millions, is you worked hard, right? Mm-hmm. You know, they inherited it or whatever, but okay, fine. So guess what? Now you got this generation, and they are working hard. They're putting in that stuff. They put the money up front, and now they're coming for your money. And what are you trying to do? You're trying to keep us down still. Mm-hmm. That's where it sucks. It's like, we're going to keep raising the price, and that money that you had, that you started to build up, now it's not even going to be worth anything now.
Yeah.
You know, I saw a report. You can have $2 million in the bank and still be considered poor.
Yeah. Because what is it in this world now?
Nothing.
When people have billions upon billions, and that's what people are realizing. I think that's a good part of the big work shortage now. It's like people are figuring it out. It's just like, I'm busting my ass for you, and you treat me like you're doing a favor because you get me a check at the end of the 2 weeks. You know, I was having this conversation with my friend earlier today, and it's just like, we're realizing that it's not even about the place. You know, like when it comes to like in the big picture of things, when it comes to life, it's not about the place. It's what you pick up in the process. Like, we're not meant to stay in these places forever, but we feel like we have to, because that's what society does. That's just what we're trained to do. But if you start asking more questions, it's just like, you know, that the stuff that I picked up in my retail days, that was skills. I wasn't there for the company. Like, that's not the reason that I was there. Like, yes, it got me a check, but it taught me, you know, my customer service skills, my ability to run a business, my ability to hire and train and discern people. Like, you know, my understanding of like visualizers and merchandising and the ebbs and flows and patterns of business. Those were the things, like the certain networking that I did, like the people that I met in the process that are also doing other things now that kind of coincide with the things that I'm doing now. Like, that's what it's about. It's not about that particular place and staying there forever. Like, we're supposed to. My favorite thing too
is one of the things I've learned too is problem solving.
Yes. Yeah.
And retail really teaches you how to problem solve, not with just like, you know, how to diffuse a bad situation with the guest, but like, okay, I got 300 pairs of jeans. I got only room for 150. What the fuck am I going to do with these other 50? You know, like, there's just like you, or like when they give you the floor set, like you look at something and you figure how to solve a problem.
Yeah.
You do it quicker. And so that I took that with me into all other things that I did. It's like, okay, here's the problem. We don't have time. Because in retail, you don't have time. You got to decide quick. And so I love, that's one of my favorite things about retail. Like, you're right about everything else, but problem solving was my fave.
Yeah. It's just like you pick up so many skills, and it's just like, you know, like maybe at some point it's just like some people, like when they were at home and they realized, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that oh shit moment of like, I don't know what's about to happen. I don't know what's about to happen. Y'all just told me to go home. I still got bills. I still got, you know, I still got stuff going on. And it's just like, then when you come back, it's just like, now you want me processing online orders and helping these people and there's this virus and I don't know what's going on, and you still want to pay me the same amount of money, you still want to act like I can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, now you want to give me hours, or like now you want to cut my hours, so there's no stability. And people are just like, yo, what the fuck? I'm doing all of this shit for you. You know, you act like you're doing me a favor because you're giving me a check, but like, what is this check if I don't have like a peace of mind?
Well, and then what's, it sucks too is we're at the front lines. We're the ones dealing with those angry guests that are mad because, there was a while where I only had like 2 employees, so I couldn't stay open to like the closing time, so I'd have to close early. I posted a sign. Unfortunately, due to a staff shortage, we had to close early, and they would get so mad. They'd come in the next day all pissy because like I came in here and I tried to, do my return, and I had to go back home and I had to come back up here. I'm like, first world problems. I'm so sorry. Like, do you care the fact that I worked an 8 day straight and that there was no one else to work, so I had to go home so that I can sleep? You don't care about that, do you? Okay,
No.
cool. And they don't.
No.
And they don't. All they care about is their convenience, and if they've been inconvenienced in any shape or form, then it's unacceptable. And, the guest is always right. The customer comes first. They pay your checks. Yes, they do. But they also need to know that I need a life, that I need to be able to breathe.
Yeah. That's not, I mean, like, the bottom line is kind of like, the customer, well, not all customers, like some customers are actually like understanding and like they get it and they don't give you a hard time, and God bless those people. But like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you get a hard time from the customers, and then, you know what I'm saying, you work for a company that, like, they do things to make it seem like they care on paper and to keep you hyped up and to keep you like kind of brainwashed, like, you know what I'm saying, like kind of brainwashed. They give you just enough to like keep you loyal and to keep you roped in, and also keep you kind of like addicted, because it's never ending. It's literally like we get out of one thing, especially in management, it's just like, oh, we're out of Christmas, okay, now we're into active because new year, new me, everybody's buying active wear, inventory time, boom, okay, now we're prepping for Easter, boom, now we're prepping for back to school, boom, now we're prepping for Halloween, but like it's never ending. it's literally,
there's always a sale, there's always this. And one of the retailers I worked for, the women's one, they were like, hey, we're really, there's too many coupons, we're doing too many sales, like, we're done, we're not going to do that this year. We're going to teach our customer that, like, we have great product and they need to come buy it. Within a month, all right, guys, we're putting on a sale, because they watched a 62% decline in their business when their guests realized there wasn't a sale.
Oh.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
They're like, what's on sale today? Oh, nothing's on sale. Oh, okay, we'll come back. They left.
That was a big
We were not making any money, and this was a women's retailer, and let me tell you, these old ladies, do not mess with them, and when I tell you the the inflow of like complaints to corporate,
they ain't got nothing but time.
Yep. And the thing is with guests now, and it's like, again, trying to make everyone happy. And so it's like, I get that guests pay our paycheck. I really do. And I understand that more than anybody. And I am grateful for it. But do not sit there and make me treat these people like they are more important than me, when I'm doing all these things, I'm jumping through all these hoops, and I'm the one getting you all this accolade, this company. We are all contributing to y'all having a great day, but you're going to sit there and tell me that I'm going to make the minimum amount for my position?
Yeah.
That's the reason I'm asking for a raise, is because when I mentioned earlier that they had raised the minimum wage for certain positions, everyone in my store, except for my store manager and I, got a raise. And when we asked where our raises were, they're like, well, you make the right amount of money for your position. I had an employee get 4 raises in 6 months right in front of me. And when it came time for my yearly review, they said, no, we're not giving out any money. So this year, I'm trying something different.
Like, y'all are the people that are giving, like, telling these people they got raises. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we have no money.
Yeah, I literally had to tell all my employees that they were getting a raise except for me. I didn't get to tell them. I couldn't mention that I was.
You can't say that part. Yeah.
Yeah, but I would like to make a note. It is absolutely, I don't know where the fuck it came from, but it is not illegal to talk to another employee about how much money you make.
Really now?
They can't even fire you. If you could go up to an employee like, I'm making $15 an hour, and they're like, well, I'm only making 12. Well, why can't I make 15? There's literally nothing they can do about it. It's in the handbook.
Really?
In every associate handbook, there's a line under compensation where it says it is not against company policy to discuss your pay with other associates. It's not illegal. They just lied about that because they didn't want people to know that some people made more than others.
Yeah, they act like it's law. Like, like you can't talk about that.
That is not in any single state is it illegal.
Really?
It is 100% in every corporation. You can talk about your wages, but people don't because they've made us to believe that it's tacky. No, they just don't want the conversation or the discussion about, for example, with women and men. Women make less than men. They don't want them to know that. I mean, we all know that, but you know what I mean? Like, so, like, I have another friend. He found out he works a part-time job, and he was talking to the guy, and the guy's like, oh yeah, well, you know, I don't know how they think I'm gonna live making, you know, $16 an hour. And my friend's like, you make how much? He's like, yeah. Now, mind you, this guy just started, and my friend's worked at the company for 4 years. Mm-hmm. And they're bringing in new employees. On my corkboard in my office is a sign where it says, if this person gets this promotion, they not only get more free pieces than I do, they get more money than I do, they get more perks than I do. Wow. It's brazen, it's on the board. If you get this, you automatically get XYZ. And it actually says, they say significant pay increase. They're not, the stories you're seeing about how companies are bringing outside people in and hiring them at more money while their loyal employees are not giving dick, it is 100% true.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, that's what happened. You remember when I said I went to a new company? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, what I got paid was, like, it was above their pay cap. Like, they had to go levels up to pay me that much. Because I was getting paid for like a level 3. I was getting paid for a level 7 at like a level 3 job. And I was not from that company. I just knew the boss. And that's what I mean, was the politics.
But you also knew what you also knew what to do too.
Oh yeah. Because I played the same move. Like when I went back to where I was working at before, it was just like, oh, y'all want me back? Because they called me back. Of course, I didn't call them. They called me, but I was ready to come back. And it was just like, so when they were like, you want to come back? We got this job for you. You know what I'm saying? We'll do this. And I'm just like, but this pay. Like, but this pay. You got to know how to play ball. But yes, continue. I'm sorry.
No, I totally agree. And that's been one of the things for me is like, and it could go either way too. They could call your bluff like, okay, bye. Because in the end, you're just a number. They don't give a shit about you.
No,
so they
not
could
really.
just literally they could just be like, bye. Or they could be like, oh, okay, well, we have an opportunity, to, save this situation or whatever. But corporate's kind of sneaky. They'll figure out a way of like, you know what, we're going to make it so hard on you, you'll have to quit. You know what I mean?
Yeah. To be fair, though, I'm not even going to knock, like, the people that I worked under. Like, when I left, at least before I left back home, right? Like, my DM had, like, watched me grow. So, like, even when I quit the first time, it was, like, a big oh shit moment. Because, like, they knew they fucked me over. But it was just like, oh, fuck, we ain't know you was going to quit, though. So, it was just, like, when it came time to try to keep me, like, she would have did whatever to keep me. And I do know that. Like, and, like, even after I quit, like, period. Like, she reached out to me to like see how I was just like as a person. So like the cool thing about retail is like, in a way, like you work together so much and like you see each other grow. Because like that was even said with I had an episode with a girl a few weeks ago, and we'd actually kind of like, when I started, she was like, well, she started at 16, and at the time I was like 18, and like we worked together until I was like, you know, like in my 20s. So like, you know, like I seen her grow, and like now she's doing like other stuff, like she's like, you know, doing her thing and I'm doing my thing, and it's just like, you know, you see people grow and you build real like long-lasting relationships because you have to work so closely together. Like when you're in
they're
retail,
essentially your
and you work
family.
a lot of, yeah, they are, because when you in retail, especially like management, or you work a lot of hours, y'all are together all the time. Y'all are
You'll
together
see each
more
other
than
more
y'all
than
with
you
your
see your own
family.
family.
Yeah,
Yep, absolutely. And again, that's what's even more hurtful is like you have these, again, partners in trauma, you know, partners in everything. And
yeah,
then whenever they turn on you when you get that promotion, or whenever, you know, something like that, like that's what hurts it even more, is like you are such a close-knit family. And
yeah,
especially when you have a good team where like everybody vibes and, you know, like there's literally no problems, there's no drama, and everyone's cool. Those are the best fucking times, because especially in retail, because there are those slow days and you get the good team there, you know, the A
yeah,
team, y'all are
yep,
all there. It's like, oh, we're gonna have a fun ass day, because you know that team is gonna not only have a good time, but they're gonna get
yeah,
everything done. It's gonna
that
get
needs to
done
get
right.
done. Yeah,
It's gonna look clean, and you're gonna feel accomplished. Those are the days to look forward to. You
yeah,
know, it's like, you know, the team's there, you're gonna get some shit done, and then, you know, but big boss is gonna come in like, wow, y'all did great. Like, yeah, we know we did.
yeah, yeah.
We know
This is
what you
why we
got.
get all the hours. This is why we're here all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And so, but like that's the thing too, is like they, again, victim of your own success.
yep,
But this job that I have now, while I may not care for upper management, I have to say I have a boss now, and I've never had a boss take an actual genuine interest in developing me and making sure that I'm on the level I need to be. She came in at a bad situation at a bad time, and she was like, I can see that passion in you. We're going to get it a little bit further. And it's been really
ooh,
cool. And it's been,
those
yeah,
are the good
she's like,
ones. Yeah,
yeah, she is gung-ho. She wants me to be on, she's like, I want you to be on my level. She goes, because I'm ready to be a DM and I'm ready for you to take over the store. Like, she knows what she wants. And I'm like, and she, when I'm
that's that
complaining about the
buy-in.
company,
That's that
and whenever
buy-in.
like, I'm ready to go off, fire off an email, like, you motherfuckers. And she'll look at me, she's like, don't do that. She has kept me so sane. She has calmed me down, and she's a genuine comrade, and I feel like a real associate, like a real employee, like someone who's there with you, who's ready to like develop you and help you, like, and it's been really cool. I've gotten really close with her, and like, you know, she'll text me things here and there outside of work, like funny memes and stuff, and it's kind of like, you know, when you see your teacher outside of school, you know,
Yeah.
like it's like watching a dog stand on its hind legs. It's kind of like, whoa, what is that? You know, it's kind of that situation.
Yeah.
She'll text me fun like memes or whatever. So like we're close and stuff, but like, yeah, she's an amazing woman, and you know, she's gone through her own shit, and she's got stories and experience. And so like whenever you say, well, we would rather have someone with more experience, I don't give a shit if that bitch has worked for the company for 5 years. I guarantee you probably knew more than she did. You know what I mean? It's like, because you have these people who just get the promotion because they're just there. Well, they've worked here for 5 years. It's their turn. Why? They've worked here for 5 years and haven't been promoted, and now you're promoting them? Maybe they weren't promotable.
Yeah.
And so I love that you said, like, I'm not going to take orders from you. No. No.
No. And like, I'm glad you brought that up too, because it's just like, I remember, like, you meet good leaders and you meet bad leaders. Like, I feel like I've learned what a good leader and what a bad leader looks like too, because like when I worked at that store that had all of that success, I love it.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. I fucking love it. But like when I had that boss that got us to all of that success, like I learned so much. He also was kind of like invested in all of our growth. And it was the first time I worked for a male manager. And what a difference. Well, no, it was the second time, but the first one was terrible. And it truly made a difference because he was like one of those people where he's just like, look, all of y'all got specific roles and jobs, so do your job. I'ma do my job. We gonna teach the employees how to do their jobs, and we just gonna work and then work and go home. Like it's not so, that complicated.
Like, that's whenever I told you my other job when I was a visual and I started at the bottom and I worked my way up. The reason I worked my way up was because my boss came in and because she got the former manager quit, so we got a new boss come in from like another store, like another state. Like we didn't know who this bitch was gonna be. And, there's always that nerves, like, oh god, like are they gonna be cool or whatnot?
Oh yeah.
And so we sat down and she was like, okay, so tell me where you're at in your visuals. And I was like, I don't know, I would say about 40%. She's like, 40%? She looks at my file, she goes, you've been doing this for like a year and a half. I was like, well, she's like, okay, look, this is what we're going to do. We're going to start over. She goes, I don't know how to do visuals. That's not my strong suit. She goes, but it's really exciting because now I'm in a store where I have a visual merchandiser. She goes, so that's your job. So you need to start doing your job and know that you can either shit or get off the pot. So do your job that you know how to do. You don't need my permission. Like, you know how to do it. Do your job and I'll do mine. And let's see where we go. Kind of the same situation. And for her to sit there and just say, like, do your job or I'll find someone else to do it, essentially is what she was saying. It was like, why am I standing in my own way? Like, she believed in me enough. She's like, I'm just assuming you know how to do your job because you've been in this position. So do it. And her that had that confidence, because the manager before her was very micromanaging. If I moved one thing, I had to give a 10-page essay on why I did it. But she came in and she was like, just do you, man. Like, I'm not going to ride you. I'm assuming you know how to do your job. So just do you, and I'll help you out where I can. That was cool as fuck. I'd never had someone just like, not micromanage me. So I was like, okay. And I excelled. And in my life, I've noticed that, like, when I was in high school, I barely passed. I passed with a 67.9. Or 69. I passed with a 69.7. That's how I graduated high school.
Nice.
But then I go to college and I graduated magna cum laude. I graduated honors.
What kind of
because in college it was at my own pace.
Yeah.
I had no one over my back telling me what to do. And so that's why I like doing visuals, because it's like you're able to create something. And even though they give you like, oh, this is how we want it to look, that's a template, bitch. Like, you just gave me an idea of what you want. I'm gonna do what I do, and it's gonna do what it needs to do. Yeah. And that's what I do. That's what I bring to the table. Because I know that I don't care what you send me, I don't have that merchandise. But this is what I do have, and I'm gonna make it look bomb as fuck. Because visuals count for 74% of sales.
They do.
So I like to create, and my store always looks fresh. And so I actually did a floor set today, and it all came together at the end. I was like, So I had a good day today. It was a good day.
Yeah.
And I had no guests. So, like, it was even better. No one was getting in my way. I was able to do everything I needed to do.
That's the worst part. I hated being open doing floor sets.
Oh, God. Because you're working on it, and you're touching it. They have to be... They're like, okay, well, you're touching something new, so what am I doing?
Like, I need to take a picture of this. Please stop. Please stop.
Like, I just need to get my... I just folded that with the shirt order. Okay. Oh, you're going to check both larges and both colors? Okay, great. Yeah, because they're the same.
Yeah, of course you need the one at the bottom of the stack. Absolutely. Yes, you do.
And God forbid you put your phone down to, pick the stack up with one hand, put it on the side, grab your size, and then put it down. You're going to just flip it up? You're going to fuck up the whole pile? Love you.
Thanks. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
And what's funny, too, is I know the retailer you have. And so, like, think about the 50 some odd tables that are folded in that store. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at my store, and I actually have a new employee now, and he came from one of those junior retailers. And he was like, he's like, how many tables do we have? I'm like, 7. Like, just 7? I go, yeah, so start folding. He's like, oh, I'm going to fold this so quick. And he sure did. Right? He went through and folded it in like 2 hours. I'm like, that is really impressive.
We were folding machines. It was nonstop. It never ended. Especially t-shirt tables, it's never ended.
Oh god. And then it's like, what visual person thought, you know what, let's put 30 t-shirts box folded on one table. That's gonna look great. It's gonna look great.
Yeah, all the time.
And then my favorite now is the fabrics are getting silkier and more breathable.
Oh, that sucks. I'm glad I don't have to fold those anymore. I swear.
Why would you have me fold it? Like, just have it hanging. Don't, like, you have a million other shirts that are cotton that will fold.
There are too many.
You want the silky ones folded? Oh, great, cool, great.
Oh, well, we had to do at my one store. We had to do weird shit because we didn't have a lot of space. We were busy, but we were tiny.
Oh, okay, yeah.
We were so
that's the thing too. Is
we had terrible square footage, but a prime location.
And that's what is hard too, and you know, people have to understand is like, people go like, oh, this store looks completely. Yes, they all look different. There are very rarely stores that look the same, and if they do, that's fortunate, you know. But like, it's so hard to, you know, figure out where all that stuff's going to go, and like during holiday, you get all the extra gifts that you have to figure out on top of the other stuff. It's like, how big do you think my store? It didn't grow.
It did not.
But like,
it did not.
But you certainly did get 20% more product than you got last year.
Yeah.
That's what I dealt with today. I was like, we didn't have any of this stuff last year. Like, where am I drunk right now? Like, I was just kind of confused. But
I can show you some things because we had to get creative when it came to like finding and making space because we made so much money. We had to get creative with space because we needed more product, obviously, because we went through it so fast. So like when it came to like storing things, we had to get so creative. Like when we had, you know how like you store things on the ceiling? Well, we had to go like even higher than the ceiling. Like we had to double levels and add racks. So like you went from like a normal ladder to like a 12-footer, like trying to put product up there and then going back and forth, up and down, trying to get it down.
It's so funny too that what some of these visual people do is they come up, like, you've seen some of these windows, some of these really elaborate windows that people have done, like for junior retail and stuff like that. I don't think people realize, like civilians realize, that 16-year-old kid that checking you out also set up that window.
Yeah, they do everything.
Those kids that you're, you know, bitching at, and those adults you're screaming at, everything you see in this store, every little decoration, we had to do. We stayed here till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, or got here at 5 o'clock in the morning. We got here to do that for y'all to be visually stimulated. No little elves came in, no other special team. No. We did it.
Yeah.
Now, I have where the other store I worked in with the gold or whatever, they had a team come in to do specifically just windows.
Lucky them.
3 people came in, they did the windows, they left. That was all their job. They worked once a month. They were contracted to go do the stores. They'd do the windows, then they'd leave. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the person that did shipment for us. Like, they had to try to unpack shipment and get things up on the walls. Well, no, they changed that position towards the end. I guess they realized it was too much for one person. But
and you have some smaller stores that's what they end up having to do, and so it's just, we could go on 4 days.
We really could.
I would just like to say that I would end it with this. Retail has changed. It is not the same as it used to be, but retail was forever changing and evolving anyway. If I have one thing to say, it's just be patient with these people. They do not get paid enough. Literally bottom tier. We had nothing to do with making up the rules. We have to follow them. It's nothing personal. Please don't yell at us.
Just be nice to the people. They do.
Just be nice to everybody.
And they do way more than you think.
Yes. And I that's thank you. Yes. But we do way more than you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Endless patience comes from these people. Endless patience. And they still get paid like not enough. Like, they don't even get time with their families. Like,
And then if you're a part-time worker, you definitely don't get paid time off.
Or medical insurance.
Nope.
So think about that too. You got these people working in COVID, and like, you know, they're not even getting medical insurance. Not only do they not get paid enough, they're not getting insurance. Like, what are you getting? And like, people are really trying to support their families and like really live off of this. And it's just like, some people won't even give you enough hours to be able to do that. Some of this shit is designed for you to have more than one job.
Yep. And then, so you, like I said earlier, you have, you know, I have this one girl, she works like 3 part-time jobs. Mm-hmm. And none of them offer benefits. I'm like, you're working 80 hours a week and you don't even have benefits.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh. And we're
trying to figure out why people don't want to work.
Mm-hmm. And she scrapes by. It's like, oof. You know, and it's like nowadays, it's like everyone's getting in relationships just to pay bills.
Yeah. That's real.
That's not the reason. Very real. That's not. And right now we're in cuffing season, so everyone's gonna start partnering up, and you know, here we go.
Yeah, it's time to get some bills paid. Tax season's coming soon.
Yep.
Oh man. Okay. Let's wrap this up.
For sure.
I love talking to you today. Thank you for coming through. You are welcome to
I'm so excited.
Anytime.
I'm so excited we finally get to do it, and I will absolutely take you up on that because old man, different generation girl, have I got some stories for you. I got 41 years of stories. You just let me know.
Let's get into it. I'd love to. I feel like we will have a lot to talk about. There are a lot of things that we can talk about.
Oh, trust me, I can talk all night.
Okay, especially like with a little bit of gay. I don't ever get to talk about my gay in a good way.
Let's do that. Let's talk about because I got some stories for that too.
All right, cool. Do you want to let the people know where to follow you on social media?
You know, I am not I have an Instagram, but I'm not really a big social media guy. I like to follow people and I like to learn from them, but I think for me, in my generation, being my age, it might be just a little sad to, you know, have that kind of stuff. But I do like to follow a lot of people, and I do like to enjoy the better parts. Like I said, the lighter side, the learning side of the internet and social media. So I don't have social media, but I would love to follow other people. So.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, you can follow me at MarissaY17 on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Twitter when I feel like it. Marissa Yarbrough on Facebook. You can also follow our pages, Thinker vs. Speaker at Thinker vs. Speaker on Instagram and Facebook, Thinker vs. Speaker official on TikTok. And I also have a second YouTube channel called Marissa the Thinker where I talk about healing and stuff. So feel free to check that out and like, comment, share, subscribe, do all of those things that you know you're supposed to do when you fuck with somebody. And you know, on that note, we gonna wrap this up and get out of here.
Alrighty.
All right. Thanks for coming through.
Absolutely. We'll talk next time.
All right.
Absolutely.
Bye.
I'm actually kind of stressed out right now because I emailed my regional and district managers to ask for more money. And after sitting on conference call after conference call after conference call where 20 million people say, oh my God, thanks for making the quarter. We've been doing great. We're making all this money. We're doing all this. And I just found out that next week, all the regional managers and district managers will be flown out to Florida to see the new bar that they're opening up. And so it's like, if y'all got the money to take them all to Florida for a week and y'all got all this money to be doing all these things, where's the money for the employees?
It's in those
That's my biggest thing. Yeah. And what's bothering me is like they exploit the employee 100% because everybody knows jobs are impossible to find nowadays, good paying jobs. And so about 6 months ago, to combat with the other retailers, they upped the minimum wage for the part-time employees from like $9.50 to $11 to $15 an hour. We still can't get people to work. And when they do come in, they want like, oh, I only want to work these 2 days and I want like $20 an hour. So do I. You know, and it's like, there's all these things that they actually do. And it's like, do y'all even know what your employees are putting up with while y'all are, and it's so funny, girl, because I love watching having these conference calls, and every single time the VP or the president of sales gets on, and they've got like their fresh Botox, their fresh fake bake, they're all tan.
Yeah.
They got the porcelain veneers, and they are just like, oh, so y'all are on vacation. Y'all are living the island life while we're in the front lines getting y'all these bonuses, getting y'all, and then you know what they sent us for all of our hard work?
What?
A box of chips and candy and granola bars.
Are you serious?
I'm not even kidding. That was their thank you to all every store got one, because Newsweek features, best in customer service, and we won last year. We were best in customer service, like out of all retailers, and oh my god, you would have thought that we won. Like, it's like when the nerdy girl wins prom queen. Like, they are so ecstatic. And so this year it's all about the customer, and they're like, oh well, you need to email them receipts, and so that way they can do the survey, so they can comment, so they can give you a good score. And if you get a good score, great. Not extra money, just great.
Good job.
If your score,
Great job.
Exactly. Good job. And you know what? Here's a pizza party, if even that. And so I felt like that. I felt like that employee who had like 30 years at Burger King, and they gave him like a $5 Starbucks card and like a pen.
Yeah.
That's what they did to us. This company has deep pockets, and it is well within their budget to give every employee in that company a $200 bonus. It's like, hey, thanks. Nope. We got a box of chips with some assorted candy. Actually, this was the best part. They gave us Starburst, the little 2-packs. Every one of the 2-packs was a double pink. Now, I love me some double pinks, but the real jam is the red and pink. That's my flavor.
That's the good pack. That's the best pack you can get.
The red and pink, right? No, they were all pink. So what I like to say is we got some chips, assorted granola bars, and pink Starburst. That's what we got for getting them best customer service.
Wow.